Alright, and because I did one on how to get married, why not do one on how to get divorced in North Carolina? Getting divorced in North Carolina is a pain in the butt, but it is possible. What I'm going to be going over is pretty much how to do it yourself without any kind of lawyers, without any kind of disputes or children, just a basic divorce because it really gets hairy. There's a lot of legal stuff when it comes to having kids and dealing with property and stuff like that when you can't agree on it. If you do agree on everything when it comes to houses, cars, anything like that, just write up a separation agreement. Basically, it's just a piece of paper saying this goes to this person, this goes to this person. We've already figured this out. Get it signed, get it notarized, and nothing can change after that unless you want to change it and you're both agree on it, then re-sign it, re-notarize it. So basically, you need to be separated for a whole year. I'll go through this, well, most of this packet that's up here. I'll also put it in the description if you want to look at it. So you need to be separated for a year, meaning you cannot be living together and you cannot be well, there's a special thing in North Carolina. You can sleep together, you just cannot live together because North Carolina wants you to get back together. That's why they give you an entire year to think about your divorce. So, once you are separated for a year, then you can file. But before you file, you need to be here for at least 6 months. Obviously, you have to be married to the person. And once you have been married to the person, this is a bunch of stuff about, hard stuff that I'm not going to be talking about. There we go. This is the first step. You need to go to the courthouse with $90, and you need to go to the clerk. They'll tell you where it is when you go to the courthouse. You need to have these 3 things filled out. If you don't have them filled out, that's totally fine. You can go up with the packet, which I will give you the link to up here because it's a big old link. But I'll give you the link to that. And it's a whole packet with all of the papers that you need. You go up to the person at the desk. You ask, "Hey, what do I need to fill out for you?" And she'll tell you, or he'll tell you, you need these 3 things filled out and what exactly you need filled out. Once you get those filled out, then you need to tell your spouse that you're getting divorced. Even though if they do know already, if you guys both agree on it, like, hey, we're getting divorced, there needs to be some kind of legal thing or proof that you told each other that you are getting divorced. Now, the best option is to go with the sheriff. You have to go to the sheriff's office. You pay a little fee. I don't know, it's like 10 or 15 bucks with the sheriff, and they'll deliver it to the spouse. And that's the best way to do it because then they can't go around and say, hey, I never got the mail or anything like that, or they try to screw you over because 1, the sheriff was there, and 2, it's signed saying that it was there. Another way to do it is first class mail, and another way to do it is to actually give it to your spouse. Then you have to both go in and get a notary, which is, it can be free up to a few dollars depending on where you go. But once you get it notarized, you need to request a court date within 30 days of your spouse or former spouse getting this documentation. So, as soon as they get it, or as soon as they let you know, or you get the thing in the mail saying, hey, this mail has been delivered, then you go get a court date. All you have to do is go back down to the courthouse, and you let them know, hey, I need to set up a court date. They set you up, and then that's when you actually go to court. They'll set you up with a court date. It's very easy. You go in there. There's a bunch of other people doing the same thing. It's not just going to be you sitting in there by yourself. You go in there. They're just going to call you up by your number and your name. You do not have to be with your spouse. You can be by yourself. There only has to be one person there, as long as all the papers are signed and you have them with you. You go up there. You go up to the little court thing next to the judge. All they're going to do is ask you a few questions. When did you get divorced? When were you separated? Did you have any children of this marriage? And is all of your stuff sorted away? And that should obviously already be done before you get this court date. And once you say, yes, we've gotten all of our stuff figured out, we're ready to be divorced, hit the gavel and be like, okay, this is absolute. Now you are not done once the judge says this is absolute. All you have to do is bring the papers that she then signs, or he signs and stamps. You bring it over back to the person at the teller or whoever does your paperwork up here for these three things. When you first got there, you go back to them that filled out these three, be like, okay, I need to file these away. You give her the stuff that the judge signed, and then that gets filed away, and that is when you are officially divorced. It's a little bit of a process. The one thing people don't like is having to wait a year. But near the final part of this, I will put this in the description. This is the paperwork that you'll actually be filling out. All of this stuff, plaintiff, you, defendant, your spouse, and there was no children born of this marriage. Very simple stuff. It's very straightforward. If you have any questions, go ahead and go to the courthouse. They're happy to help you. Just be like, hey, I don't understand what this means, or I don't know what I need to put here. And be like, oh, that's too easy. Just wait till this day, and then you can fill out this portion of it. But right now, you just need to fill out this portion of it. But most of this you fill out by yourself, and it will tell you when you need to fill out one rather than fill out the other.